Hi everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of BOMA Greater Dallas Unplugged. We made it through another week, yay! And my kids made it through their first virtual school days, so pretty happy with that. And then I also have some news for you guys. Hello to my new puppy. Hi, hi, yes. Yes, they don't know that he's coming home with me today. My husband knows, but the boys don't know. So I'll let you know what his name's going to be next week, and I'll let you know if Raven, my little Labrador, if she loves him or not. I hope she does, knock on wood. So let's get on with this. As you all know, yesterday we had our the Education and Engineer Committee hosted the interactive seminar called Breaking Down the Silos Between Engineers and the Property Management Team. And I had the opportunity to moderate my Crescent colleagues, Angelique Wade and Josh Hartzell. And we talked about how they communicate with each other and with their teams. And, if it was operational or personnel, and then we talked about what they were dealing with, with COVID-19. So I thought this was a really great session. So I ended up doing a bonus round with them, which is what our episode is for this week. And although I'm not on their team, I know that they have been working together for several years, and I know they work so well together. So I'm just curious to see what they do. How do they make it work for them? So as you guys know, Angelique Wade is the general manager for one of the portfolios with Crescent, McKinney and Olive, and 2401 Cedar Springs, Green Hill Towers, and 511 West John Carpenter Freeway. And then Josh Hartzell is the chief engineer for this portfolio. And I learned earlier that they've worked together for 13 years, which I think that's just great that they've made it that long. And, once you know how well you work with people, you tend to stick with them, right? So I hope you guys enjoy this candid conversation that I had with them. Enjoy. Do you think your relationship has evolved over the years?
Well, we've worked together that entire time, except for a few months when Josh was at a different property, but it would have to be trust. I never trust anybody. Don't tell anyone, but I'm from the show me state, so you've got to show me. And a lot of engineers find that threatening, but Josh never did. He was always happy to explain everything, and his abilities are such that, he's not threatened by anything like that.
Yeah, Kristine, I thrive in that environment Angelique creates. I have clear expectations. I'm held to a standard, and her questions really broaden my abilities and promote growth. So yes, that's a great environment for me to thrive in.
Good. So, how have you guys I'm sure every relationship, professional or not, has disagreements. How have you guys handled those kinds of those disagreements? And who's usually the one that's disagreeing?
Well, we both usually disagree, but for different reasons. I'm looking at it from a budget perspective or time or employee time, and Josh goes first to doing the right thing, making the repair correctly, and limiting liability. So usually our disagreements are all for the greater good, but they're from different angles. So
Kristine, we usually come to a mutual agreement. We keep our ownership's interest at heart. By the time we're done, we've thoroughly argued from all sides and come up with a workable solution that everyone is happy with. Sorry.
Very good. Very good. So, Josh, this one's really for you. How have you found over the years, what am I asking here? Have you found that over the years you now know what Angelique will ask of you? And how have you found that when you are researching things, like, are you actually thinking about the questions that she's already going to be asking? Like if it's Angelique or your asset manager or owner, landlord?
Yes, most definitely. To the point, I utilize that forethought in pretty much everything I do on a daily basis, because ultimately I need to keep her happy, and her goals are right in line with the ownership's goals. So that forethought and being in tune with her definitely benefits all aspects of my job and my staff.
Okay. So my other question, it kind of goes in with, like, back to our third question about disagreements, but do you find that you guys are negotiating with each other, or is it more like you're accommodating to each other's thoughts, or is it more like it's my way or the highway?
Well, my way is always better. But no, I've always listened to Josh because he's proven himself to me and I know I can trust him. He's not going to bring anything to me that isn't real. He's not going to give me any BS. So I don't have to push him to do anything. We're usually on the same track.
Yeah, we both have pride in ownership. So our negotiation is usually from the same perspective, and none of it is personal. So we're usually on common ground, which makes negotiating easy. I don't know if it's really negotiating at that point. It's more just coming up with the right approach for our ownerships.
Yeah, so you both see, that's so great that you see the big picture also, and that you guys are, like you said before, working towards the same goal, the greater good kind of thing for the property. So that's so awesome. How have you guys established your expectations for each other?
I mean, I think it's because I ask so many questions. Josh knows what my expectations are, and my stern demeanor that people tell me I have. People just know that I'm expecting 100%, and Josh expects 100% too. So we're usually on the same wavelength there.
More like 110.
Yeah.
Get a project approved. You're not, like, what the right way is to do it. So how would you, do you express that to Angelique? Like, because that's kind of an expectation. Like, you're saying, if you want me to do this job right, this is what I need. Do you find yourself doing that kind of?
Yes. So Angelique having a stern approach, a very clear expectation, definitely
Correct.
could be intimidating, but I can present anything to her, and yes, I stand up for what I think's right, even if I feel like she might not be in agreement, and I do that because I trust that she's going to hear me out, and she's not just going to be stuck in a mindset that she thinks is right. She does listen. So I have a voice, and yes, I'll probably let that voice be heard a little more than I should. But I know when she knows that I'm passionate about something, it may it cultivates her listening a little more.
Yeah.
But
I like that. Like, so that kind of goes into my other question, like how, you talk about trust, building that trust. You have that trust in Angelique that that you can be open with her. Angelique, how do you feel like you did? Maybe was it the questions that you asked that, and Josh, feel free to jump in on that, but what was it that made you feel comfortable with that, and vice versa? How did you guys build your trust for each
Well,
other?
definitely communication, just constant communication, letting Josh know not just why I needed something, but the who and the what and the where, so that he understands. I don't just ask these questions for me. I I'm going to have to turn around and explain this to somebody else and he might not be there. And so it's important for me to not only know what path we took and why we're doing this repair, say, but also were there alternates that we could have done and why we've chosen to go this route. So just communication is the big thing.
I think that's huge what you just said, Angelique, about, and it's like actions. It's based on actions. Josh, do you feel like because you have seen Angelique back you up on things when you guys have been in meetings, that kind of helps? That's been helpful for you to know that she's got your back?
Yes, most definitely. And you know, it's always nice when somebody has your back, and yes, that helps build trust. But you know, she also lets me know when I'm off track or I'm being a little too passionate about certain things, and those, you know, at first glance come off as, you know, you could be somewhat set aside by that, but at the end of the day, when I step back and think about it, it was for my growth, and that builds trust because she's looking out for me, you know, personally at that point, and cares about my growth. So that really builds trust.
Well,
Yeah,
good.
Josh always wants to make the full repair.
Correct.
He wants to get the piece of equipment right back to 100%. And sometimes that is the best way. And sometimes we just need to say, well, if this was our money, would we just buy a rebuilt motor or would we go with the new motor? So,
Yeah. And there, like what you were saying, Kristine, a lot of it is just day to day working together, and you start one little piece of trust and then it just grows from there, and then you start applying that to every aspect of your day to day activities. And I mean, it's a true relationship, so communication's key, and trust is, you know, the number one aspect of that, and then everything from there down is just, you know, part of living that relationship.
Good. I love this. This was such a great bonus for, I think for our members to hear a little bit more from you guys. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. And like I said, giving us a little bonus round of hearing a little bit more about how you guys work well together and things like that. So thank you guys again for your time.
thank you, Kristine.
Thanks, Kristine.
Enjoyed talking with them, and we had a lot of fun during our session yesterday. So I hope you guys did too. The 100 people of y'all that signed in yesterday in the session. I plan to have the same conversation with Adam Bernhardt and Billy Rollin with JLL at Bank of America Plaza, and then also with Sonia Ellis and Billy Kahn with the Colleague Partners Group. So be on the lookout for those episodes in the next few weeks. I'm just so curious. Like I said, I can't help myself but to ask questions. I'm just so analytical, really thinking about things. So I hope you enjoy this series that we have coming up. So on to our recaps and reminders. We've already gone over the week. I hate to say, if you didn't attend the webinar yesterday, we weren't able to record because we were doing it in virtual rooms. So sorry, but I hope you get something out of the series that will be coming up. Allied members, I want to remind you that to register for the Allied +1 event, the registration will open on Monday, August 17th. And for everyone else, register today for the August luncheon, which is on Tuesday, August 18th. And we'll have Tammy Huddleston, President of Energy, Transportation, and Asset Management for DFW International Airport, come and speak with us. She'll talk about the improvements that they're doing there, what her role is, and how they have been dealing with COVID-19. So try to log on early so you can see who all is attending, maybe get a little chat going on there. And so we'll open it up at 11 a.m. Announcements will start at 11:30. So we'll see you then. And for those who are wondering what Toby is all about, I know the call of entry is closed up at the end of the month. However, there's more to learn about it. BOMA International will be hosting a webinar on Wednesday, August 26th at noon our time, and they will talk about how to apply and provide you with best practices in going through the process. More details will be coming up in Monday's this week's email, so take a look at it. Thank you all for tuning in to BOMA Greater Dallas Unplugged. Stay safe, stay strong, and have a good week. Say goodbye to my puppy. Goodbye. Goodbye.